Welcome back, guys, to to End All Wars. I do want to apologize. I am a little ill today with a cold, so I'm not going to be my usual self with my voice. It's going to be pretty raspy here. I'm going to go ahead, guys, and get started on our next turn here in this campaign. And so much has happened. We're obviously still trying to get a bunch of powers on our side. But I think what I'm actually going to do for this campaign, we've been attacking so much, trying to take land back, and that's all well and good. But I think we're going to actually rest for a little bit. In fact, most of these guys have only sent one guy over here to join this army. This army right here is actually moving over here. If they're capable of building a depot, so be it. We'll have them build one. If not, we'll keep them here. And the same goes for this guy right here. So we've got a depot here. Let's see if we've got one over here. Here, we could definitely build a depot. And especially with all these Russians advancing, I think it's the right thing to do. Now, last turn, even though von Hindenburg was doing incredibly well, we did send him back over here to Königsberg. I think it's the right decision, and I just want to keep him on a very defensive motion here. I want him receiving troops, receiving as much supply as he can get, and we'll also build a depot in Königsberg. The enemy probably destroyed it since, and the same here, build a depot. There's going to be a lot of building depots, as you guys can imagine. In the west, the only attack I am going to be doing, I think it's quite important, is to try and take Antwerp. So we're going to take Alexander von Kluck, who's actually assisted by George von der Marwitz. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. I hope so. And we're going to go ahead and take these guys and go straight to Antwerp for a massive attack. I want to see if I can actually get there via train. We might be able to. 2 days. Beautiful. And the rest of these guys, once again, we're just lying low. If we can build a depot, great. If not, no worries. We've obviously taken a lot of French territory, but on the Eastern Front, the Russians have taken a lot of territory from our Austro-Hungarian allies. And that's obviously a big problem. Here, we're going to build a depot as well. And wherever else there isn't a depot, does that make sense? Wherever there isn't a depot, we're going to build one. How about that? And once again, here I'd actually like to attack, because this is, the enemy unit here is actually looks like a medical corps that the British are using, but I think I'll just remain neutral and hope that they try to attack us, because I think we could pretty much wipe those guys out. And let's also head to the Austro-Hungarian front. We've already taken a look there, not the Austro-Hungarian front, the Serbian front, and we've actually gotten the city of Velika Plana. We've actually taken it, so I'm going to keep on trying to take Belgrade. It's going to take, or is it Belgrade? I think it's Belgrade. It's going to take a lot of work. So we're going to be sending our guys through this territory. With this unit, I'm going to attack the Serbs over here. Hopefully it's a successful attack. And I also want to take a look at our Turkish allies. I want to make sure that they're getting the best attack possible as well. We're sending a lot of them to the border with the Russians. And so they're just now kind of entering this territory. It's pretty new to them. They actually lost their first battle, which makes sense. I mean, this is not going to be easy. And also I want to head over here to Egypt, where we're trying to take back this area from the British. But once again, it's going to take a lot of work. And I think we're also going to have to try to get the Arabs on our side, which is going to be an entirely different problem. And not one I really want to deal with, but it is what it is. We've done what we can in our colonies, and we're actually doing pretty well over there, believe it or not. Let's take a look at Enver Pasha. So he's actually not unlocked yet. And one thing I want to do is absolutely bring some recruits in for our Austro-Hungarian friends. So let's get some Austrian line infantry in here. Unfortunately, we're running out of money and recruits, and eventually we're not going to have any at all. And for our German forces, I'm going to do the same. Ooh, I don't know if Germany can really reload many forces. There we go. Actually, that's quite a lot. Even German militia is useful to try and defend the front here. The super heavy artillery would be great if we could get some of that. I don't even think we can get field artillery, unfortunately. We're pretty low on funds, and there aren't many options right now, especially since in this current situation, you know, the war has just kind of started. Let's take a look at this. Concessions to Italy. Italy was nominally part of the Central Powers Alliance, but opted for neutrality upon the outbreak of war, since its territorial ambitions lay within the borders of Austria-Hungary. Wow. So this would actually shift 25% towards the Central Powers. They would take South Tyrol and Istria, but the Austrians would get pretty pissed. And it's going to cost us 500 victory points, 5 engagement points, and 10 morale. We're going to do it. We're going to try it out. We also have Anthony Fokker for research, but I think we're not gonna worry about research right now. We're really just going to worry about maybe funding artillery research. I just said no research, but I really was thinking about chemical warfare or artillery research. I'm going to fund chemical warfare research, guys. I think it's time that we turn the tables a little bit on the enemy, and I hope that this is just the solution. We also took our diplomat out of the United States because the United States can never actually join the Central Powers, even though they technically love us right now, and we sent our guy to Italy. So we're hoping the Italians will join us, but for now, our men just need to hold the line, have bravery and patience, men, and of course we'll come back when the next turn begins, guys. It begins, and I'm hoping for a big money roll here. We definitely don't want to get crushed in the next few turns. Let's see what happens. It looks like there's definitely some movement here on the Eastern Front, and the thing that's amazing to me is also the speed of the Russian armies. They're quite fast in comparison to ours. It could be because they've got that rail support, of course, but it really is quite frustrating, and they've just attacked, I'm sure I'm going to mispronounce this, Przemyśl, and we need to take that back. It's actually a major city. Got an attack here by the Russians, and they're actually attacking one of our German corps, and yes, they did get a victory there, although they lost quite a lot of men, 5,791, but to the Russians, what difference does that really make? Numbers mean virtually nothing when you think about it. Over here, our frontline forces, man, they need help. They need some serious assistance, and I hope they're going to be getting some reinforcements. Now, here we go. This is the battle, I believe, of Antwerp, but we have lost, and we've lost 89 or 86,000 men in the process. This was a major assault with von Falkenhayn, and he has failed us, guys. Unfortunate. We only killed 18,000 of the enemy. That is a major victory for the Western Entente. So we should have stayed calm and totally just stayed neutral with every single one of our units. Probably would have been a better option, but it is what it is. The Russians are continuing through here, and we did lose at the Battle of Kolo, but we managed to kill a lot of the Russians, and in an army of 69,000, we only have 15k. That's actually quite good. In fact, I think Kurt von der Boom is going to either be captured or got very lucky and just barely escaped capture. Come on, you dogs. It's also winter time. This is another reason I decided not to do any offensives. You know, I really just want to stay put, make sure that our guys are warm, and hopefully they can hold this area. If not, we're in a whole lot of trouble. I mean, we've already lost a lot of men, so has the enemy, but it's only going to get worse from here, guys. Can't believe we lost the Battle of Antwerp and forts. Maybe it had something to do with using the train. Like, maybe our men unloaded off a train, which would be a terrible idea. But man, that is the worst loss we've had, 86,000 in a day. That would certainly turn even German opinion against the war, losing that many men in one day. Now, of course, a lot of those are going to be wounded, but they could be wounded for life. You know, that could be basically a life-ending injury. So far, at least, the enemy's not attacking us on our line there. We've still got Briey, we've still got Montmedy. We've got a lot of French provinces here under our control, and we've got to keep it that way. But those that British Expeditionary Force is looking scary. And look at this. We've got the Japanese even in Eastern Africa at this point. They've come all the way from Japan to Eastern Africa to try and deal with some of our ships and possibly try and blockade some of our actual ports. I'm going to see if the enemy here will dare to push forward against our Austro-Hungarians. They're getting stronger. We just need the chemical weapons. Desperately need those chemical weapons. And I hope that's going to increase the enemy's casualty count significantly, but only time will tell, guys. Also, don't forget, if you enjoyed this series, please make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, comment. I don't need to tell you guys this, but you know, the more views we get, the more comments we get, the more shares on social media, things like this, the faster the channel is going to grow, and the more likely I am to post these videos more consecutively. It's really hard to find time to post this stuff with a job. I try to get up a Battlestar Galactica Deadlock video whenever I can, but to get up videos of 10 Wars, it's not easy, believe it or not. This is definitely a game that sort of takes a while to decide what you want to do. And look at that massive force. They have a huge, huge force right there in Lemberg. Just unbelievable. Too bad the atomic bomb has not yet been developed. That would be a perfect target. Or if we could use a gas attack on Lemberg, that would be huge. Could kill, you know, hundreds of thousands of Russians. Come on, we've got to get one battle where we outnumber the enemy or beat the enemy. I think we had one battle where we had excuse me, guys, where we had less casualties than the enemy forces, but really not that impressive. And the reason these turns are taking so long is the enemy's getting so many reinforcements. The enemy's getting a ton of supplies. They're moving a lot. So there's a lot going on right there, primarily on the eastern front, where just the Russians are moving so many men into that area. It's kind of scary. There we go. They're attacking. They are attacking. Austrian defeat at the Battle of Rezhov. And that's very unfortunate. We lost 6,000. They lost 7,000, but the fact is, you know, we're going to have to move back now, and the Russians are going to continue attacking forward. I'm certain of that. And now we have to decide, what are we going to do about damn Antwerp? We can't seem to take the city. Maybe we should just camp outside without assaulting it and hope that the enemy comes out, but it is a pain in the ass. It really is. Okay, day 11. The enemy could be making an attack here. We have a badly damaged army in that area. The only benefit from their Lemberg position for us is that they have to move across a river to attack, but with that many men, I don't think that's going to be an issue. Sure, they might lose a lot of guys to machine gun fire and artillery, but they'll make it across with those numbers. In fact, if I were the Russians right now, I think I could probably get an easy victory against the Austrians. And right here, we actually won a battle in Gole, a very small battle with our Turks. But it's good to see that they're at least getting some victories. That's going to bring them some morale, and it's going to force the Russians to send some supplies, at least, to face the Turks. But look at that movement by the Russians. There's so many of them. And the Japanese, of course, are also a major issue, at least navally. They're destroying a lot of our ships, they're blockading a lot of our ports, and they're certainly a problem. We need more allies. Alright, let's see what happens here. There we go. Major attack by the French. Western Front. Come on. This could be our beautiful victory. It's a German victory, guys. Yes. We lost 21,000 men, but we killed 58,000 enemies. And the Scottish division was the first up for the charge. So they've got elements of the English Expeditionary Force here, and the Irish division as well. We absolutely showed them. 58k doesn't make up for our 96k loss, but it kind of makes things a little more palatable. Of course, we're going to take a look at the casualty count here, but it's good to see that, at least on the Western Front, staying put might be the best option until we research some better stuff. We seem to defend ourselves pretty damn well there. Alright, there we go, guys. New turn ready. I'll take a look to see. I don't think we have anybody joining our faction this turn. Support for war is decreasing in Germany. Oh boy, support for the war is decreasing in Austria, but also in France and Russia, so nobody wants this war to continue. And we've also increased support for us in Romania. That's certainly a good thing, but I'm not sure what we're going to do about the city of Antwerp here. This is more complicated. I think I'll take this Major General back to Liège. Hopefully he can resupply his armies, although his armies are practically destroyed. But we need your advice, guys. What do we do now? And of course, we will take a look here at the overall casualty counts. And let's take a look. So we've lost, finally, we're up to 1 million men. About 1 million men. And we have 42,500 French prisoners, 1,900 Russian prisoners. The enemy, the Western Entente, has lost 731,000 men. And the Eastern Entente, 382,000. I think at this point, we're both up to 1 million, but it's very, very even at this point. And it's hard to say. I mean, we are still gaining victory points. I'm not sure if we're winning or not. Win level is 150. It's going to take us a long time to get there, so we'll have to see what happens. But I hope you guys are enjoying this. Thank you so much for watching, and keep supporting, guys, the series as much as possible. Thank you. Take care. Have a great day.